We welcome you to Winston-Salem. Busy Saturday in the ACC, and we're at Joel Coliseum for the second meeting of the year between the host Deacons of Wake Forest and the Wolfpack of NC State. And let's go right to the standings. We're kind of in the middle part of the day here. Already wins by Clemson and Duke, but you see the stakes for the Deacons and the Wolfpack as they meet for the second time in this regular season. We welcome you courtside. Always great to be with Dan Bonner. Wester up 256 meeting between State and Wake. And if it lives up to the billing of the first one, we're in for a heck of a show. The Wolfpack's been driven by the DJs here, Dan, and as late as Wednesday night against Pittsburgh.
Well, those two guys really played well against Pitt Wednesday night. DJ Horn has actually averaged 25 points a game over his last 3 games, and DJ Byrne has his season high against the Panthers. However, the rest of the team didn't really come up to snuff. Those guys are going to need some help today.
Well, and when you talk about playing Wake Forest and you play them in Winston-Salem, it's a whole different vibe. And nobody epitomizes the vibe better than Hunter Salas and Boopy Miller.
But these guys have been amazing. Look at those shooting percentages, Wes, and that's more than 38 points a game. Wake is a different animal here at home.
So the Deacons, who are 12-0 at home for the first time since 1999, they have also, Dan, been unbelievable in their last 2 games because for the first time since 1954, they have beaten consecutive opponents in the ACC by, let me double check this, 29 or more.
Wes, they have really played well. They're a very good offensive team. Everybody knows that. But their defense in these last couple games has also been outstanding. And as you said, Wes, the first time these two teams played was really a tremendously intense game. We expect nothing less here this evening.
Well, the Wolfpack won 83-76 about a month ago at PNC Arena in Raleigh. We've got a terrific environment at Joel Coliseum. Efton Reed and DJ Burns are going to get us started. Solid officiating crew. Roger Ayers, AJ Desai, and Matt Potter on the whistle. And away we go. Reed wins the tap. And here are the Deeks. And this is Hildreth against O'Connell, who draws the start for Kevin Keats' team. Miller on the bounce pass for Reed. Against Burns. Efton with the left hand. It's 2-0.
That's going to really be a plus for the Deeks if they can get that tonight.
Wolfpack lineup features O'Connell in there, running the offense. 4th straight time he started with Horn, Burns, Taylor, and of course Morcell. Here's O'Connell. Here's DJ Horn off the screen of O'Connell, and we're tied at 2 on Horn's jump shot.
DJ Horn, Wes, he's an outstanding 3-point shooter, but he does a great job in the mid-range, and he really hurt Wake Forest the last time with those floaters in the lane.
Horn hit the jumper and already talking to the crowd on Winston. There goes Miller. It spins out, and the rebound for Jaden Taylor. The Butler transfer from Indianapolis. Here's Casey Morcell. He'll take it on the drive against Reed. Had it knocked away, and a foul call. Roger Ayers is going to whistle Efton Reed for his first, and that'll be the first on Wake Forest.
Wes, and this has been a problem that Efton Reed has had all year. He drops his arm right across Casey Morcell on the drive. That's going to be a 2-shot foul. But Reed has a tendency to pick up silly fouls, and you can't pick up silly fouls in a game like this.
If the Wolfpack helped themselves in any way to the victory almost a month ago, it was what they did at the free throw line. 25 of 33 they were in the ball game against Wake Forest. However, Wednesday night, Dan, it was their downfall against Pittsburgh. They won every other category, but they were a very poor 6 of 15 at the line against the Panthers.
Which is amazing, Wes, because they went into that game shooting almost 80% in conference play. This is an excellent free throw shooting team.
Second from Morcell is good.
And Wes, in fact, in that last game, it was NC State's ability to draw fouls and get free throws that really helped the comeback in the second half. And there's Miller just stepping in front of O'Connell.
Yep. So Michael O'Connell picks up foul number 1, first on the Wolfpack. And you can feel the energy on the floor as it moves into the seating bowl here at Joel Coliseum. This is a big game for Wake Forest. It's equally big in many respects for NC State. Miller, Salas, hanging jumper is good. 10th best field goal shooter in the ACC. 3rd best scorer in conference play is Hunter Salas.
And NC State looking very conscious to run Salas off that three-point line. But Salas, like Horn, is very good in the mid-range.
Here is Taylor on the drive. Working against Carr. Got it blocked from behind, out of bounds. It will stay with the Wolfpack and 10 to shoot. And of course, 51-year-old Kevin Keats is at the Wolfpack bench with his 200 wins in his coaching career, 128 of them with NC State. There's Burns, the left-hand skyhook by the big fella. That is a skyhook, isn't it? It
is a skyhook, and Wes, there's no defense for that. I mean, Reed was in very good position, and he's already got that 1 foul, so he's got to be a little bit careful, but you just can't defend that particular shot.
2 minutes and change in. Miller, Carr, who had a career night in Raleigh. And here is Hildreth, who's really struggled from behind the line, but does a great job of doing that, getting the ball to the rim. Here's Miller with the clock down, and Carr for the dunk. What a feed by Boopy Miller.
NC State really working hard to deny. There's the 2nd foul on Reed.
Wow. Efton Reed going to pick up his 2nd. And Reed's 2nd is Wake's 2nd with 17:24 to go here in the first half.
And Miller takes the ball hard to the basket. NC State, I was going to say, really working hard to try to keep the ball out of the lane, but Wake was just relentless that time.
Matthew Marsh, 21-year-old junior from southwestern England, comes into the ball game, and Burns turns it over. Hildreth in transition. For Miller in the 3. And Burns pulls away the rebound. DJ Burns averaging only 3 rebounds a game in conference play, but State turns it over in transition. And the other way is the blow that Salas can't finish. Diarra the rebound. He's checked in for the Wolfpack. And at the other end, Horn can't get it to fall.
Would you say, Wes, that this is fast-paced basketball?
Yeah. For those of you old enough to remember, my analogy earlier today was it's an old ABA game. Hunter Salas knocks down a 3-pointer as we welcome those of you who watched Clemson beat Davidson in women's lacrosse. Our thanks to Drew Carter and Charlotte North for sending it along to us here at Joel Coliseum. Salas has got 5. The Deacons have built a 3-point lead, and a travel on DJ Burns will send it back to Wake Forest. NC State had some early chances here, Dan, but they've turned them over in their last 3 exchanges.
The turnovers in a game like this, Wes, and NC State only turned the ball over 6 times against Pitt. They've only turned the ball over 18 times in their last 3 games, so this is not a team that commits a lot of turnovers, but they cannot hang on to the ball early.
NC State has given up 2 field goals on the 3 turnovers. Efton Reed has picked up 2 early fouls for Wake Forest. He's on the bench as we played almost 4 minutes. And the Deacons trying to pick up their 16th win, but also get in that fight for 4th. With a month to go to the ACC tournament in Washington, D.C. Carr, turnout, and Diarra, the rebound off the miss by Carr.
That's just a good job to stay between Carr and the basket, make that a difficult shot.
Horn, Marsh trying to help. Back for Taylor, he'll slash in from the right wing. A little runner is good. Boy, I don't know, Jaden Taylor, terrific shot. A terrific result of a tough shot.
Tough shot. And he didn't score against Pitt, Wes.
Yep. He missed all 3 shots. He played 24 minutes. He had 21 in the win against Georgia Tech last Saturday. Here's Miller in a 1-point game. And he turned it over to Morcell. Wolfpack with a weight giveaway. Taylor for 3. Long rebound, Diarra. Mohamed Diarra, the transfer from Missouri. Morcell for three. Back rim miss, and Marsh pulls it down.
West, turnovers and offensive rebounds, I think, are going to be two really important stats in this game. You just can't give either one of these teams extra opportunities.
Hildreth fouled by Morcell. Dan, as we go to break. The first meeting we told you was a tussle, 83-76. We'll look back at it when we continue. Tell you what, it was a Tuesday night in Raleigh at PNC Arena, Dan, and it was the game that everybody talked about for about 3 days.
Oh, boy, that was the truth. I mean, there were some great plays. This is the play that got Kevin Keats upset, so upset that he tried to go out and play defense and got himself thrown out of the game. That was with 3 minutes left in the first half. But then, particularly in the second half, DJ Horn got past the top of the key, was able to get into the lane and score. And then this is right at the end of the game where Middlebrooks, he got a technical foul, got himself disqualified from the game. Salas got 2 technical fouls, he got thrown out. Diarra got a flagrant foul, he got thrown out. All kinds of stuff went on in that game.
Yep, that's why it lasted in the Hinterworld, if you will, for a couple more days after that. Speaking of Middlebrooks, he's coming to the ball game now for NC State after the timeout. Here is Hildreth on the drive, a little spot pull-up, and Diarra, another rebound for the Wolfpack.
Wes, one of the interesting things about that game is North Carolina State won the game and made no threes. They were 0 for 8 from beyond the arc.
Dan, they're 0 for 2, make it 0 for 3 after the Horn miss. So far here today, and there's a drive. Morcell, they play volleyball with it. Diarra had it, lost it, finally cleaned up. Here's Horn and a three. DJ Horn knocks down a three. That's the first one for the Wolfpack against Wake this year.
And Wes, they had, what, 4 opportunities to do that? NC State now has got 5 offensive rebounds.
Pack back in front, lob for Marsh, too strong on the catch. State the other way. Look at Breon pass in the game, feeding Diarra for the hammer. Whoa! Breon pass did just that, and Mohamed Diarra hammers it home.
NC State is at their best, Wes, when they can get out and run.
Carr trying to screen and rescreen for Fredrickson, who's checked into the game. Catch and shoot for the young kid from Oklahoma. Horn the rebound of the miss.
Wes, the NC State defense has started scrambling, and that time I thought Fredrickson hurried a little too much.
Look at Salas with a terrific defensive play. Middlebrooks to beat. He will get there and draw the foul from the Clemson transfer. First on Middlebrooks. It'll be the third on the Wolfpack, Dan.
Well, Diarra's a guy that doesn't score a lot, Wes, but he's very capable, does a nice job, just runs down the middle of the court. Great pass, he splits 3 Wake Forest defenders.
So here is Salas at the line. Transfer from Gonzaga out of Omaha, Nebraska with 12 points and 7 rebounds in the first meeting. And he's already got 6 here this afternoon. O'Connell, Burns, and Taylor back for the Wolfpack. And here is the modern-day microwave for Wake Forest. Damari Monsanto has checked in. He wears 30 for the Deacons. And there is a look. It is literally push cook for Monsanto. Second one good for Salas.
Well, Wes, and he has attempted 26 shots since his return to the lineup, and every single one of them has been a 3.
Yes, sir, and he's 5 for 5 at the line when he does step inside the three-point line. There are no 2s in his pocket. 2-point lead for the Wolfpack. Burns here for O'Connell. Right back to Burns, and a little ISO here, Dan. Nice skip by the big fella. Taylor for 3, and that spins out. Last touch by, I believe, Diarra.
Diarra has been so active on the boards, they're really having a hard time blocking him out.
Is there a style of fight here that Diarra has some success against Wake Forest?
I think so. Wake Forest, you know, right now they're actually playing a little bit smaller lineup. You know, Monsanto's not known for his board work.
Here's Carr, and look at O'Connell reach in there and knock it away. Hildreth now. Monsanto wants the ball, and O'Connell's going to commit the foul, and that is 2 on O'Connell, I believe. Matt Potter will make the call. on Michael O'Connell, the Stanford transfer, his second. First Wolfpack player with 2.
And after the foul, Wes, Hildreth, as he does, just kept going, and he got hammered on the inside. So Hildreth, the elbow to the face there, and he keeps going, and Diarra really comes down hard on him. That was not the foul. The foul was out front.
Right.
So it's going to be a non-shooting foul. He got fouled about 4 times on that play.
Out of the corner, Fredrickson. Parker Fredrickson's 37th 3 of the year. Puts Wake Forest back in front.
And that was a contested shot.
Yep. Terrific look for the young freshman from Bixby, Oklahoma. Taylor. Backing down on Fredrickson. Gets into the traffic, can't finish. DR ripped it away, landed on his wallet, and that's a travel.
Wes, getting into the traffic is very important because you drive into the lane, you draw the defense. Even if you miss the shot, DR is a guy who's chasing after the ball. He's going right to the basket to get the offensive rebound. That's a break for Wake Forest because he fell down.
So the giveaway back to the Deacs. Boy, some kind of game we're watching here. The two teams are 3 of 9 from 3. Dan, they're 10 of 25 combined from the floor. But NC State's got a 9 rebound advantage at 12-3 early, including 5 offensive rebounds.
And those are just extra opportunities.
Yep, 5 offensive rebounds been turned into 5 second chance points. Here's Miller, and the rebound for Diarra. The Wolfpack comes in 3rd in the ACC in conference, or I should say 12th in the ACC in conference play in rebound margin. There's Taylor firing for 3. Jaden Taylor now well over 100 threes on the year, only 32 makes.
That's really a good job by Diarra to get Hildreth to stop.
Yeah.
See, Wake is a good three-point shooting team, Wes, but if you can make them settle for threes, and that looked like a settle to me, then that's to your advantage.
There's Taylor working against Fredrickson. Carr coming to help on the double team. Parker Jr. is the freshman from Richmond. Wears 11 for the Wolfpack. And now with 8 to shoot, here goes DJ Burns with a left hand again. And they crash the glass. Carr away with it. Here's Hildreth. He's got Monsanto trailing. There's the bounce. There's the 3. And it's no good. You could see it coming.
Anytime Monsanto's running down the court, it's coming.
And this crowd rises when he cuts it loose now. On the drive, Morcell. Fredrickson with the loose change. He's got an Allen. Miller for Monsanto.
Boy, that's a great job by Morcell to get back.
How about Fredrickson over Burns? Parker Fredrickson only had 2 points in the first meeting. He's tripled it here in the first half. Pair of threes for the rookie. Lead is 4 for the Deacs. Parker returns. Diarra fouled before the block by Carr. How about the young kid from Bixby, Oklahoma? Steve Forbes told us earlier today he looks like he's here to drop off pizzas. He's knocked down a pair of threes. Wake a 4-point advantage in Winston. Double-double or a 4-point game. 10:02 to go in this first half. 17-13. Parker Fredrickson has helped himself coming in here, Dan. Part of a Hino run in the last couple minutes, huh?
Yeah, he's the guy who's keyed it, Wes. He's knocked down 2 3-point shots. But the interesting thing about this, Wake Forest, even though they have the lead, Wes, they're a team that shoots about 50% in home games. And NC State's defense has held them to 38% shooting. And the Wolfpack are doing a great job early, drawing fouls and getting to the free throw line.
Foul a moment ago on Monsanto. And you see Andrew Carr has swapped 11 for 43. That must be the spare in the old equipment bag, Dan. Free throw by Diarra.
43 has gone a long way down then because that is a great, great number.
No, easy now. Easy now.
And I say that because Mike Jaminski wore that number at Duke.
Yeah, so did you.
I didn't wear any number at Duke.
I know, but you wore the number at Virginia.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Diarra 1 of 2 at the line. He's got 3.
And Reed is in with those 2 personal fouls.
Here's the drive by Miller, partially blocked by Burns, I believe. Taylor ahead for Morcell.
Boy, there was a lot of contact from Burns there against Miller.
Taylor, Reed's back on the floor with the 2. Out front, Taylor hesitated. Back for Morcell. He couldn't pull the trigger. Taylor will now, though, from the left. Got it. Jaden Taylor's 33rd 3 of the year. Tied at 17 now with 9:20 to go.
NC State doing a great job on that particular possession, Wes. Driving the ball at Wake Forest and then getting it moving, forcing the defense back and finally creating a wide open 3.
Steve Forbes really extending the minutes of Fredrickson. Here's Hildreth. Out front, Monsanto thought about it, gets around Diarra, and then threw it away.
Well, he's not used to passing the ball. He shoots it.
Let alone getting inside the three-point line, right?
That's unfamiliar territory in there.
Kevin Keats wanted to foul on Hildreth for a trip. Didn't get it at the Wolfpack bench. 15 to shoot for Burns. Taylor seeing if he can double down. How about a little Euro into the lane? Free throw, or a little short jumper, no good. Miller collects, and here's Monsanto with him. Boopy all the way underneath. Back for Damari's triple. Air ball. Missed everything.
Boy, he sure did. Sometimes it takes Monsanto a little while to get heated up, but that was an excellent play by Miller to draw the defense, and Monsanto had a wide open one.
Morcell. Wake really extending the pressure. Diarra fakes the 3, drives for the 2, lost it. Burns collected and scores.
You don't, if you're Monsanto, you don't want to go jumping at Diarra. Diarra is not a good 3-point shooter.
2-point lead for the Wolfpack, under 8 to go. Substitutes waiting at the table, but we're going to get a break before that, and there's the foul on Dennis Parker Jr. out of Richmond. His first, 5th on the Wolfpack. NC State has dominated the glass here early. A 9-rebound advantage and a 2-point lead.
Hey, don't forget, next Saturday we got a triple header of ACC basketball for you. We're going to start in Chapel Hill. Coach Bonner and I'll be there for the Hokies
and the Tar Heels. And then Miami's at BC, presented by Food Line. The nightcap at the Pete. Louisville and Pittsburgh for the 2nd time this year, all next Saturday on ACC Network, streaming live on the ESPN app. We're happy to be in Winston-Salem. Joel Coliseum, terrific environment. We're seeing a pretty good ball game here, Dan.
Well, a very physical ball game so far. And Wake Forest, they started out quickly, but they're only 2 for their last 10. Make that 3 of their last 11. And Andrew Carr motivated by the jersey change.
Yep. His 11 got ripped, so therefore he is allowed to make this change, and he wears 43, and very Bonner-like with the dunk, I thought, to tie the game at 19. I'm so happy he's in 43. There's a 3 out of the corner off the hand of Dennis Parker. And look at Wake turn it over. Diarra open floor. And he'll push it down.
That was a terrible break for Wake Forest. Miller was dribbling the ball up the court, and he just bounced it off the heel of, I think it was DJ Horn.
Yep. Packed back in front of basket, ahead of 7 to play. Carr hands to Salas, 3 for the lead is good. Salas to double figures, he's got 10. First player in the ball game. 10 of the 22 belongs to the Gonzaga transfer. Here's Parker rerouting baseline.
Each team is playing man-to-man, Wes, and each team is playing it very aggressively, trying to keep their opponents out of the lane.
Look at Horn, the floater. And Parker crashed the glass, but Salas had it. Deacons trying to pick up the tempo here in the front court. What's a fun game to watch.
Yes, it is. They're going up and down. And Miller hadn't scored yet, Wes.
Yeah. Loopy Miller scoreless.
Comes in 8th overall.
Now keep in mind, Reed has made that shot, Wes, but he's out there playing with 2 personal fouls.
Yep. 4 for Efton Reed. Wake to a 3-point advantage. Here's Jaden Taylor. Diarra will fire, and it rattles in. Mohamed Diarra's 6th 3 of the year gives him 7 in the ball game, or 8 in the ball game now.
Wes, I think if you're Wake Forest, you can live with that. He comes in as a 25% three-point shooter. You'd like to put a little more pressure on him.
5:35 to play. Reed playing with the 2 fouls, as Dan told you, on the hand to Salas. And there's Horn almost stripping it away and forced the turnover. Here is Horn with Salas to beat. Layup good. 5 in a row by the Wolfpack.
Wes, Wake Forest just has to be stronger with the basketball. There's an awful lot of pressure out there, and there Miller leaves his feet.
Here's Parker, and it's good, and a foul. The block is called on Salas.
Salas was in that restricted area, Wes, and it looks like he got the worst of that. But this is what you cannot do against North Carolina State. You turn the ball over and they get out running. I guess he wasn't in the restricted area, but he just didn't get his feet set. Roger Ayers signaled that he was in the restricted area, but in or out, that was a charge. That was a blocking foul.
7-0 run here for the Wolfpack. First points in the last 2 games and change for Dennis Parker Jr. And here's Middlebrooks for Burns, and the Wolfpack building, Dan, their largest advantage of the ball game here. Parker 56% at the line, and he knocks the free throw down.
Well, Wes, the last couple of minutes, Wake Forest has struggled to score, and they've turned the ball over 4 times.
Wow, here comes Ernest Ross into the lineup, 6'9" junior. He's going to replace Diarra.
Burns already on the bench, so you got Middlebrooks and Ross on the floor with Horn, Morsell, and Jaden Taylor.
Trying to match up with the Wake Forest side.
Yep, you got Reed and Carr out there. Here's Carr against Ross. Ross doesn't play much. Carr knows it. Backs him down. Double team help. And Carr can't finish. Reed knocked it out. It leads to a state transition chance. Morsell lays it in. And Steve Forbes wants a timeout. An 8-0 run by the Wolfpack has pushed them to a 7-point lead here in Winston-Salem on ACC Network. Well, the Wolfpack's hit their last 4 shots from the floor. 10-0 run for State to make a 7-point lead. Has the game gotten too fast for Wake Forest, Dan?
Wes, I don't know that it's gotten too fast. I think Wake Forest, they've got to be stronger with the basketball. NC State is doing a lot of reaching, and they're knocking the ball away. You have to hang on to the ball. You can't wait for the referee to bail you out.
Turnovers are even at 5. The rebound margin still +8 for the Wolfpack.
And if you're Wake Forest, a big part of your offense is Kevin Miller, and he has not scored yet, nor has Hildreth.
Yeah, Hildreth on the drive. Reed, a short jumper, good. 6 now for Efton Reed. Another Gonzaga transfer from Richmond, Virginia. And that snaps the state run. That was 10 in a row. Horn with Reed and Salas colliding on him. There's Ross, who stays on the floor. 10 to shoot. Taylor on the drive. Offensive foul. First on Jaden Taylor. The Butler transfer. 6 on the Wolfpack. 6 turnover by State.
I think Taylor is fine, except he throws that arm out there, Wes. He was past Hildreth and had a really good opportunity, but he threw that arm out there. And that's a break for Wake Forest because Reed was about to pick up his 3rd foul.
Yeah, Fredrickson has returned for Wake Forest. He joins Reed, Carr, Hildreth, and Salas. Miller goes to Coach Forbes' bench
with under 4 to go. Hildreth all the way through on the drive, and it rolled out on him. Middlebrooks the rebound.
Boy, that was one that Hildreth makes almost all the time.
Middlebrooks the catch, and we're going to get a held ball that will go to NC State. So a timeout will come as of that. It'll belong to the Wolfpack, who's got a 5-point lead. Late first half in Winston-Salem next. Well, in a game going 94 feet, any measure of leverage created on defense, Dan, can be valuable.
And you play on defense, you're able to get out and go on the offensive end. Interestingly, against Pitt, NC State only had 4 fast break points. But today they're already piling them up. They've already got 10. They average over 14 a game, which leads the ACC. And they're well above that average now. But Wake Forest has turned it over. Wake Forest has missed some shots they would normally make.
So a held ball gives it to the Wolfpack on possession, and Horn, a jump shot off the baseline has 9 now.
NC State doing a great job pressuring the basketball. Wake Forest can't really get anything going offensively. Wake is a team that needs to move the ball. They do too much dribbling side to side, and that really stalls the offense.
Don't forget Thursday, a women's basketball doubleheader for you on ACC Network and the ESPN app. NC State and Notre Dame get a start at 6 o'clock, and then Duke and Virginia Tech from the Castle. All of it presented by Ally on ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app. Cameron Hildreth at the line after the foul on Casey Morsell was his second. That is the 7th, however, on the Wolfpack. So 1-1, and Hildreth knocks down the first.
And Wake made all 17 of their free throw attempts the other night against Georgia Tech.
What didn't they do the other night in Atlanta?
They did about everything.
Except help folks to concession stands, or
I may have done that.
Maybe in or out of the arena.
And Wes, you may notice that Andrew Carr has his number 11 jersey back on again. We understand that they sewed that up.
Yeah, they put the 43 jersey behind the wall, so to speak. It's a wonder he didn't want to wear 43 the rest of his career here in Winston-Salem, as great a number as it is. So Hildreth got 1 of 2. Deeks to within 6. Look at Horn get right to the basket and 1. Wow, DJ Horn. Oh, and then wants everybody to know that I'm in town.
Wes, this half is beginning to look like the second half over in Raleigh, as North Carolina State doing a great job pressuring the ball and DJ Horn attacking in the lane.
So Horn will go to complete the three-point play. It's an 8-point lead, make it 9. And Horn's got 12, Dan.
And this is a very uncharacteristic struggle for Wake Forest at home.
Wolfpack's made their last 6 shots from the floor. And they had a run where they hit 5 in a row as well here in this first half. That and the rebounding have staked them to this 9-point advantage. Here's Carr. 5 to shoot, and they're going to get a foul off the ball on Middlebrooks against Efton Reed.
Wesley, what created that foul was ball movement by Wake Forest.
Right.
Early in the possession, the ball just stuck on the left side, but when they finally began to reverse the ball, that allowed Reed to get position inside.
Burns will check in to replace Middlebrooks. Reed going to the line for 2. He is 28 of 31 on the year at 90%. Wake Forest is just 3 of 4, though, in this first half. First of the 1-and-1 is good for Reed. Don't forget, coming up at the break, Kelsey Riggs has got the whole crew in tow in our ACC Network studios, brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance. Joseph Girard III's return to the Big Dome in Central New York. And also a nice win for Duke. Mark Mitchell was 17. The Blue Devils, a 15-point victory to kind of stay in that front 3 with Virginia and Carolina, who's in action at this hour.
And Reed with those 2 fouls coming out of the game.
Yeah. You keep him over there if you're Steve Forbes for the final 2:30?
Absolutely. That's why you're taking him out now. I think that Forbes did a nice job getting him in, and Reed did a nice job avoiding the foul.
Here is Horn again on the drive, the scoop, and the score. Wow, DJ Horn has embraced the role of the villain here in Winston-Salem in this first half, hasn't he? Salas answers for the Deacons at the other end.
Well, Horn is really playing with a lot of confidence. That was a difficult shot. I thought Salas actually had his hand on the ball.
Horn says that's my fault. Shot was too quick. Still a 7-point lead. We go under 2 minutes. Deacons on the attack. Hildreth can't finish. Crowd wanted a foul, didn't get it. Wolfpack 3 on 4. Horn for 3 at the top. Oh boy!
Wes, when you miss a shot like that, and whether there was a foul there or not, I don't know, but when you miss a shot in transition like that, and the ball is a pretty long rebound, that is a perfect transition opportunity for your opponent.
And one for Salas on the Taylor foul. 9th on NC State with 1:35 to go. So Jaden Taylor picks up his second. He joins Morcell, O'Connell, and Middlebrooks with 2.
Well, Salas does a nice job getting into the lane. He, like Horn, is very good with that mid-range shot in the lane. Wes, but what I want to point out to you is we still have 1 minute and 35 seconds left to play in this half, and NC State has already scored 41 points.
Yep.
Wake Forest just can't stop them.
Salas converts the and one. Boy, what a half he's having. Salas has got now 15. Horn's got 17 in the basketball. Inside 90 seconds to go. It's a 7-point lead for the Wolfpack. Pass getting some valuable minutes now with O'Connell in foul trouble with the 2. There's Horn with the left hand. Fell off the rim for Marsh.
That's a good double team by Carr, who then pulled out at the last minute. I think Burns misjudged what he had to do with the ball.
Well, we expected it to be entertaining, and it's been that here in the first 19 minutes. Salas, screen for 3. Oh, wow. Hunter Salas now. He's got 18 in this first half. That's his 3rd 3 of the frame. Wake to within 4. Inside, catch and score for DJ Burns Jr.
I'm not sure that Wake wanted to go out and be quite that aggressive with a double team against Breon pass.
There's Hildreth, too far underneath, hit the underside, last touch by the Wolfpack. Hildreth and Horn squaring off. And now we got whistles. Jaden Taylor wandering in, but Matt Potter, Roger Ayers, A.J. Desai trying to get the temps turned down here.
Well, Wes, in that last game,
yep,
there were 6 called technical fouls. And then we just got a double technical.
Yep. So Roger Ayers has offered a technical, I believe, here to either school.
It's a double technical. One of the technicals is on Taylor. And the other one might be on Fredrickson.
I think it might be. We'll double check here and wait. So it is double technicals. And A.J. Desai will go to the monitor. At least it's being recorded on DJ Horn. We'll see. Matt Potter's going to come and tell Dan about it here real quick. So we'll get some clarity. And you see DJ Horn and Hildreth chirping after the take to the basket. All right, so who we got here?
The technical fouls are on Taylor and Fredrickson.
Okay, that is the 3rd then on Taylor.
I think they said Taylor.
It's been listed as Horn on the...
Okay, Horn. It's the technicals on Horn.
Oh, it is Horn and Fredrickson?
Horn and Fredrickson.
Okay.
So my error.
First foul on Horn. It does count as a team foul, by the way. So it's being listed officially as Hildreth and Horn. And there's Miller fouled on the drive by Horn. Second on Horn. So we get our paperwork.
All right, Wes. In my defense, Matt Potter came over here and said double technical 2-0. And so 0 is Horn and 2 is Hildreth.
That's it.
And I thought he said 2-0 meaning 20.
Right. So there we go. Here's Miller, free throws after the first point of the day, by the way, for Boopy Miller with 25 seconds to go in the first half.
Yes, and he has been out of the game for a long time, and I think just because Steve Forbes is a little upset with his play.
7th best free throw shooter in the conference. Gets them both. He had 21 in the first meeting and was a perfect 15 of 15 at the line. And there's a Kevin Keats timeout with 19.7 to play. Still a 4-point lead for the Wolfpack. Last possession of the half coming up next from Winston-Salem. Inside of 20 to go here. NC State's got a chance, if they wish, Dan, to have the last shot of the half.
Well, and what we've seen NC State do, DJ Horn has been dominant with his ability to drive the ball into the lane and get shots. You see 17 points already, and he's made a couple of threes. That's something that NC State didn't do in the first game. They've made 4 in the first half here.
All right, so just so we're clear here, 2 fouls on Horn, including the technical, 2 fouls on Hildreth, including the technical. They were dead ball. That's why you didn't see any free throws, and we played on. That's how we got a 4-point game here at the break. And now Breon Pass has the ball with Horn, Taylor, Burns, and Diarra here, and they are going to play for the last shot. Are the visiting Wolfpack, and look who it is. Off the baseline, Horn knocks it down.
Now there's no surprise there.
8th field goal to the frame for Horn. He's got 19, and at the half, the 3 will bound away, and the Wolfpack's going to take a 6-point lead to the locker room, Dan.
That's a pretty impressive first half by the Wolfpack. They went on that 10-0 run and grabbed control, and the Deeks lucky to survive and only be down by 6.
Yep, terrific half for DJ Horn. He leads the Wolfpack with 19. 18 for Hunter Salas. Stay tuned. Kelsey Riggs, Luke Hancock, Joel Berry, and my man Boo standing by. Auto Owners Insurance halftime report now.
Welcome to the Auto Owners Insurance halftime report.
That's right. We got the whole crew in the house today. Carlos Boozer, Joel Berry II, Luke Hancock, Kelsey Riggs, our 3 national champs rocking with you all day long. It's a 6-point lead for NC State at the break. And Luke, it didn't look like it was going to be that for a little while, but they finished scoring 10 of their last 12 shots and shooting really well. What changed for them?
I think it's a little DJ Horn demeanor out there. I mean, he just said, I'm taking this on my shoulders. I'm not going to let my team lose. And I think he's talking a little trash. He's getting his team fired up, and he's hitting big shots. He's giving them the confidence in this game.
Well, that's what happens when you got in-state rivalries. It's a big game. DJ Horn is stepping up. I thought that they did an impressive job of just getting out into the open floor, playing with space. And when NC State can hit shots, they're really dangerous, but sometimes they can settle in the half court and take really tough shots, but they started turning over Wake Forest. They were able to get out and hit easy baskets, and once you start getting those baskets going, it just opens everything up.
Yeah, exactly. You see it right here on the highlights. They literally turned Wake Forest over, got in transition, got easy layups, easy buckets. DJ Horn was outstanding, getting bucket after bucket. Now their momentum is flowing, and Wake Forest also fought back in this game, so we got a good battle going on right now.
Game of runs, 8-0 run for Wake, a 10-0 run for NC State. As they're kind of feeding off that momentum, I think both teams have to do a good job of not letting those mistakes compound.
NC State right now killing them in the paint, killing them on the boards, and again, also killing them in the fast break points. But it is just a 6-point game right now because it has been a back-and-forth game of runs. Meanwhile, we've got a good one between NC State and Wake Forest so far. 6-point lead for the Wolfpack. Diarra, 8 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists already in the first half.
This halftime report is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Meanwhile, Hunter Salas, they might be behind, but he's got 18 points so far in the first half. We'll see if he's able to continue that in the second and get Wake back in this 6-point lead for the Wolfpack at the break.
You're watching the Auto Owners Insurance halftime report.
Well, back at Joel Coliseum, we get ready for second half action. NC State, Wake Forest meeting for a second time. It's been every bit as compelling as the first meeting in Raleigh about a month ago. And great to be with Dan Bonner, West Durham. And here's a look at our halftime stats. My goodness, the Wolfpack, Dan, at times was overbearing on offense, weren't they?
Well, they were, Wes, and that 53%, they started out poorly, but they got hot. Particularly DJ Horn got hot. Mohamed Diarra really did a nice job coming in off the bench. He helped them a lot. He had 9 of those 21 rebounds. The 13 fast break points are the key, though, Wes. There was turnovers, there was missed shots by Wake Forest, and NC State was able to get out and go. We said they averaged a little more than 14 fast break points a game, which leads the ACC, and so they have done much better than that, almost equaling their season average in the first half.
Well, you talk about scores, we saw it. DJ Horn caught fire in the final 10 minutes. He finished with 19 in the first half. Hunter Salas, I thought, was pretty steady throughout, Dan, but he had flashes as well.
Well, and the problem for Wake Forest, Wes, not only did they give up 45 points, but Kevin Miller, who averages 16 points a game, had 2. Cameron Hildreth, who averages 13 points a game, had 1. And Andrew Carr, who has played very, very well recently and averages 13 points a game in ACC play, had 4.
6-point lead. You see Boopie Miller had 21 in the first meeting, just 2 in the first half. Cam Hildreth will put it in play with Miller, Efton Reed, Hunter Salas, and Andrew Carr. NC State starts Diarra on the floor here in the second half.
Well, they're looking to match the size that Carr and Reed bring. And O'Connell struggled in the first half, got a foul trouble.
So here goes Reed spinning on Burns with a right hand. And it will bound around and finally knocked out Diarra. And here's DJ Horn.
That's a pretty good shot by Reed.
Horn on the drive all the way to the rack. Had it stripped away, and Matt Potter says it stays with the Wolfpack.
And that's what Horn has done, West, throughout this entire game. He has been in attack mode. Gets in a big crowd here. NC State's lucky that they can keep that ball.
Diarra, Taylor, here's Burns, and Salas will clear it away. Still a 6-point game, and the 3-ball bounds away, and here's a second chance for Hildreth. Back for Carr, a 3. And bodies down, and a foul is called. I think that's Diarra, and Mohamed Diarra draws his first. It'll be the first of the half on the Wolfpack. Junior from Montreal, Saint-Saint. That's in France. And you see that Efton Reed is still down, and he's able to catch his breath, I think at least momentarily, and get to his feet. And Reed gonna need a minute, I think, here to.
Well, the guy gets hit there, you give him a minute.
Yep.
Maybe give him 2.
That's it. So Reed is he going to come out of the ball game, or?
I don't think so.
Nope, he's going to stay in. And the ball awarded for play. Miller to Reed, and right back to Boopie Miller. Salas. Now here's Carr. Oh my, around Diarra, layup and 1. Shot fake for Carr. Got Diarra to commit. And the big fella from Westchester, PA has got a chance at a 3-point trail.
Well, this is really a good move. Diarra's going out to try to contest the shot. Realizes that Carr has faked him, but then his foot slips out from underneath him. And Wake Forest, they missed a couple of early threes, Wes. That's what they have to do, is get the ball into the lane.
Free throw good. Carr's first of the day. He's now got 7. And the lead is cut to 3. Just like that. Here's Horn. Quick pass inside. Burns the catch, and DJ Burns gets a chance at an and 1.
That's a really good pass, and if Reed is going to go, Reed really comes out and attacks this, and attacks the screen, and all DJ Burns does is go to the basket, and the defense isn't there quite in time. Salas tried to help out, but he's too small.
Burns, who's coming off a return to form, if you will, with 19 and 5 against Pitt the other night in the loss, completes a 3-point play. So one is answered by another, and it's back to 6 again. Reed. Here's Salas. Tried to bounce it to Reed. He wasn't ready. Turned over, and here's Taylor in transition.
Wes, the problem with that possession for Wake Forest is the ball stayed on the same side of the court. Wake is a team that needs to move the ball. It's got to go side to side. They've got to try to get the State defense out of position.
Horn trying to rip around Reed on the drive, and he ends up turning it over. And then Diarra goes to the deck, but out of bounds was Reed. And Efton Reed sends it right back to the Wolfpack. Tell you what, it's been a hard 90 seconds for Efton Reed on the floor here at Joel Coliseum.
It sure has. Again, Reed goes out and he's trying to cover up Horn. Salas is trying to recover, and Reed gets a hip into him there, and that's why Horn loses the ball. And he was out of bounds and he touched the ball, so that means the ball's out of bounds.
Right.
Only 9 seconds left on the shot clock.
Horn, 5 to shoot, skips it for Taylor. He'll launch and no good. Feels like Miller has to start putting some points on the board, Dan, to help offset kind of where NC State's taking the game, at least right now here in the early part of half two. There's Boopy on the call and scores.
Wes, that's exactly right. But I think Steve Forbes, he's happy for that basket, but he wants to see some ball movement and player movement. And again, that was just a drive to the basket. It worked, but I'm not sure that's the way you're going to beat NC State.
4-point game. Morcell caught off the double team. Here's Hildreth defending Horn. On the drive, Taylor into traffic, had it ripped by Carr. Great defensive two-man game. They skip it for Hildreth. Thought about the three. Kick for Salas. Taylor did a nice job covering and then knocked it away. Here's Diarra with the Wake turnover.
Hildreth needed to drive that ball, Wes. He had his man in the air. You go by and you get a little jump shot.
Look at Burns with the left hand. Nope. And Diarra the backside rebound. And a fresh 20 for the Wolfpack.
Boy, Carr just has to do a better job blocking him out. You know, the fans are yelling for an over-the-back call, but Carr's just got to get him out of there.
Burns, 6 to shoot. Skip for Morcell's triple. Oh, missed everything. Reed the backside rebound.
Even on a bad miss like that, Wes, Wake Forest can't get out and run. North Carolina State doing a great job getting back on defense.
State hadn't scored in better than 2 minutes and change. Lead is still 4, though. Here's Carr trying to cut in more.
Just nothing doing for Wake Forest for anybody but Salas from beyond the arc.
Taylor missed the three at the other end. Here goes Salas trying to create something on the drive and scores. 20 now for Hunter Salas.
And Wes, again, when Wake can get out in transition, it's much like NC State. They can score much more effectively.
Skip for Taylor. 3 ball. Nope, missed everything.
Now you got to go.
Wake can tie or lead. Hildreth on the drive. Tied it. First field goal for Hildreth. And we're locked up at 48.
And Wake has dug in a little bit on defense here to start the second half.
Horn for Taylor. Long three. Whoa! DJ Horn now with 22 on his 9th field goal of the day.
Boy, DJ Horn making another gesture after that three-point basket, gesturing right at Hildreth. Steve Forbes very upset, wanted a technical foul.
There's a drive by Miller. He's got 4.5, 6 in the game. Horn hit that three almost standing next to Kevin Keats.
Well, he was way out there. But then I really thought he pointed directly at Hildreth.
Right.
I think Steve Forbes thought the same thing.
Here's Burns. And a travel by DJ Burns gets us to a break. 1-point lead for the Wolfpack. We get a stop in the action. When we come back, one of the all-time greats to wear the red and white from NC State. Well, when you talk about a guy that broke barriers, David Thompson, not only the first African-American ACC Player of the Year, Final Four Most Outstanding Player. That was in Greensboro, by the way. The only jersey to be retired, the number, that is. Several have been honored, of course, and presented for Michael Jordan by request at the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. And 2 weeks from today in Raleigh. It is hard to believe, Dan Bonner, we're talking about the 50th anniversary of one of the greatest ACC teams and maybe one of college basketball's greatest teams.
Well, Wes, without any question, that 9th seed 74 North Carolina State team, David Thompson, Tom Burleson, Tim Stoddard, Monty Tao, Mo Rivers, Phil Spence. They had an outstanding basketball team. And David Thompson, Wes, and I'm a little bit biased about this because I was at Virginia during that year and I got to see him up close and personal. I still think he's the best player to ever play in the ACC.
Yep. He was unbelievable. Averaged nearly 25 points a game for 3 straight years. There's a foul on Middlebrooks. He and Reed starting the bump and bruise, if you will, on that block. And Ben Middlebrooks, 3rd foul and the 3rd on the pack here in the second half. That'll be a special day 2 weeks from today in Raleigh when that 74 team is announced at PNC Arena. Hildreth had a great look. Second try wouldn't go, and then a foul called on, I think that's O'Connell. Boy, tough day at the office for Michael O'Connell. He hadn't been able to really get started. That's his 3rd foul and the 4th on State here in the half.
And Hildreth really struggling today, and that's one of the reasons why Wake Forest is struggling. He's such an inspirational player for them.
So a couple of free throws here for Hildreth, who was 1 of 2 in the first half. And we're tied at 51. Don't forget softball season starts. Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational. ACC Network is home for 5 games starting Thursday morning, 11 a.m. Carolina, Kentucky. And it rolls all the way through the weekend. Sunday as well. Carolina, Washington, Georgia Tech, Northwestern on Saturday right here on ACC Network. Deacons in front. Pair of free throws from the young man from England. How about that?
But
DJ Horn, the beat continues.
Well, that mid-range shot, guys, he comes off that screen and Hildreth just can't recover.
Wolfpack back in front by 1. Here's Miller. Skip out front. Carr thought about it. Now Hildreth with O'Connell defending. Hildreth weaving through traffic around Diarra. And Reed had it, blocked and fouled by Middlebrooks. That's 4 on Middlebrooks, who's scoreless today with 13-13 to go in the game.
And Middlebrooks was a dominant force in that first game, Wes.
So 2 shots coming for Reed. And Efton Reed is 90% at the line. He's 30 of 33. Dan, you talked about Ben Middlebrooks' first night against Wake, 14.6 rebounds, and different story today. Foul trouble has not been kind to the young man from Fort Lauderdale who started his career at Clemson. Reed, by the way, just his 4th miss of the year on the first one. Second one only through. 9 for Efton Reed.
Reed picked up those 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes, Wes, and he's done a nice job to not pick up a further foul. And he continues to be aggressive.
Marsh checks in. Tied at 53.
So can they stop DJ Horn?
Wow. Here's Horn sizing up Hildreth. Marsh trying to help. Back for O'Connell. Taylor against Salas. O'Connell with 8 to shoot. Foul line area, Burns. 5 to shoot. Marsh there. Burns from 17. DJ Burns out of his comfort zone. Has got 5.5 and 11 in the game.
I don't know that DJ Burns can get out of his comfort zone. He seems to be a pretty comfortable guy everywhere.
2-point lead again for the Wolfpack. Miller on the drive, and it rolls. 8 for Boopy Miller.
And North Carolina State in the first half, they did a great job keeping Miller, and in fact, the entire Wake Forest team out of the lane. They have not been that successful in the second half.
And a foul called on Horn against Hildreth. So Hildreth's going to draw his 3rd. 2nd of the half on Wake Forest.
Now this presents a problem for Wake Forest. You need an aggressive defender on Horn, and your most aggressive defender is Hildreth, but he's got 3 fouls.
Here's Horn eluding the double team again for Burns. Now Taylor thought about it. Here's DJ Burns again. Marsh defending. Burns fighting through and threw it away, trying to go to O'Connell.
Burns needs to shoot that ball.
Miller trying to beat the big fella all the way through. Skips it out front. Salas into traffic against Taylor. Blocked. Recovered.
That's great defense by Taylor.
Skip for Carr. He'll launch. And O'Connell runs it down. He'll feed Horn. Beats Miller on the drive and scores. 7.5, 26 in the game for DJ Horn.
Wes, the missed three results in a long rebound and another transition opportunity for North Carolina State.
57-55. He's tied his season high that he had at Louisville. And there's Salas in answer. Hunter Salas now with 22, Dan.
And he has really been good. He's been as good as Horn.
Yep. Taylor, foul line jumper, spins in.
And that's a tough shot. I mean, Salas was right there.
2-point game. 59-57. Oh, what a terrific crowd at Joel Coliseum, and it's the game's delivered. Miller all the way through. Left for Carr out of the corner. O'Connell for Burns. Taylor for three. Marsh the rebound.
Wes, Carr's three was the first three for Wake Forest by anybody other than Salas and Parker Fredrickson.
And one on the drive by Hildreth. Selling out at both ends. Cam Hildreth draws the foul on O'Connell. Wake in front when we come back. When you talk about the checks and balances of the lineup, Dan, Wake's got a 3-point lead. We're at the midway point, basically the second half. NC State's got a little foul trouble to be concerned about, though.
Well, they do, and one of the reasons they have foul trouble is because they've been so aggressive on the defensive end, and Wake has made them pay for that. Wake has made 12 free throws in the ball game. West, but the Deacons, they have straightened some things out in this second half. NC State went to halftime with 5 offensive rebounds. They still have just 5, but the Deacs have 4 offensive rebounds in this half, and Hildreth has suddenly come alive, and that is a very good sign for the Deacs.
So Hildreth to try that. Ernest Ross, who played 2 minutes in the first half, has checked in now for NC State. And we mentioned with the Middlebrooks foul trouble, and because Diarra, got to be careful with him. There's Hildreth knocking the free throw down to push the lead to 4 for the Deacs.
Wes, Ernest Ross, prior to this game, played 1 minute in 1 ACC game.
Right. So he doubled in the first half, is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. From Alachua, Florida, he wears 24 in the rim. Here's Horn, catch and shoot 3. Nope, bounds away. Marsh the rebound. Salas and the Deacons trying to extend the lead. 3 from the front. And here's a pitch ahead for Morsell. Strong take to the basket, and that'll be a foul on Hunter Salas. Now he joins Hildreth with 3 now for Wake Forest. Deacons have nobody with 4 with 9.5 to play.
Well, Salas missed that shot and hung his head a little bit and didn't get back quickly on defense, and that allowed Morsell to get behind him.
And Casey Morsell's going to get a couple of free throws. He had 8 points in the first meeting. He had 4 points in the first half here today.
And Morsell's about as good as you get from the free throw line.
Oh, you did it there. Nice job.
Coming in shooting 93% from the line in ACC play.
Well, here's the other element, too. That's just the second free throw attempt for NC State in the second half. Remember, they only got a half dozen of them in the first half. Got the backing. 5 from Morsell.
Parker Fredrickson, who really helped Forbes' club in the opening frame.
And that pressure that NC State just showed was just to disrupt Wake Forest, to slow them down a little bit.
Yep. Here's Miller into traffic. Soft jumper, really doesn't spin very much when it releases his hand.
Now that was more of a push shot right there. He'll make most of those.
Horn got caught in a double team. Finally able to pick up the basketball to advance to Burns. Marsh trying to defend DJ. Burns, who scores with a left hand. Thought he got fouled. There was no whistle. 7.5, 13 in the game for Burns.
How did he make that shot?
I have no idea. Catch and shoot. Salas got it.
And now, the question I have for you, Wes, if you're the Wolfpack, how do you lose that guy? You know, Hunter Salas, he just wanders down there. It wasn't like a great cut or anything. Somebody just left him.
25 and a career high now for Salas. 66-62. Burns trying to answer again. Cannot. 4-point lead for Wake Forest. Salas trying to beat Ross. Does! Here's Morcell. Other end and stuffed it home, I think. Casey Morcell got it right over the rim before Salas got to it.
Well, and Morcell just leaks out and nobody got him.
Miller kicks Fredrickson from the corner. Ahead, here's Morcell again. Beats Salas, can't finish. Scramble, O'Connell out of nowhere. Shortest guy on the floor.
Wes, Morcell has just been getting down the court so quickly in transition. He's been like a one-man fast break the last 3 times, really putting pressure on the Wake defense.
I think they gave that bucket to, oh, they finally did give it to O'Connell. And there's a foul after a flurry at the basket. And mercifully, we get a timeout. 7.5 to play. 2-point lead in Winston-Salem for the Demon Deacons. Two-point lead for Wake Forest. It's been a quiet day scoring-wise for Boopie Miller, hasn't it?
Well, certainly quiet in the first half, Wes, but here in the second half, he has done a nice job getting the ball to the basket. He wasn't really able to get in the lane in the first half, but in the second half, he's gotten in the lane, and not only has he scored, but he's got 6 assists in the ball game.
2-point lead for Wake Forest. Young man from Chicago will go to the line. Couple of shots here from Miller. 91% against the league at the line. He's 2 for 2 today. And the free throw good. That makes him 52 of 57, Dan, at the free throw line against the conference.
So you're saying you like to have him at the line?
Oh, boy. Look, we talked about the DJs for NC State at the top. We talked about Salas and Miller for Wake Forest at the top, and it feels like those 4 principles are going to determine the game. Whoever wins, right? Right now, we got ourselves a 4-point game with 7:20 to go. And Taylor in the Wolfpack. Here's Horn out of the corner. Sure. How about DJ Horn now? That is 10.5 and 29 in the ball game.
Wes, you're getting to the point, if you haven't already passed that point, where you just cannot leave Horn to help out. You know, Hildreth dropped off of him to try to help out and then couldn't get back in time.
Season high for Horn. 8 to shoot. Miller. 1-point lead for Wake. This is Boopie Miller time. Floater with the right hand. Roll off the iron. Middlebrooks had it. Last touch by Reed. Says Roger Ayers. That'll award it to NC State.
Yes, I thought that was an odd approach by Boopie Miller. He had Middlebrooks guarding him, and instead of driving past Middlebrooks, he backed up, and that allowed Taylor to switch back, and that made it a much more difficult drive to the basket for Miller.
Taylor trying to beat Salas off the dribble. Hunter Salas working on a career high.
Remember, Salas has 3 fouls.
Horn out of a double team. Here's Morcell, 10 to shoot. Diarra, another 3. Oh! Mohamed Diarra had only 5 threes on the year. He's hit 2 today. He's got a double-double. It's his first since the season opening win against the Citadel, and State back in front.
Well, he made both of his threes today, Wes, and he comes in shooting only 25% from out there.
Carr answers.
Boy, that is a huge, huge answer by Wake Forest.
13 in the ball game for Andrew Carr. Diarra.
He thought about it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He clutched. Horn. He won't think about it. He'll just pull the trigger. 8 to shoot. Here's Taylor. Tries to get to the basket. Blocked by Horn. 5 to shoot. It'll stay with the pack.
Carr did a great job, first of all, with the double team, then getting back, and then coming over. Salas does a nice job just to hold him up. Give Carr a chance to come over and block the shot.
Look at Horn now. He's standing in the lane when the ball is handed to Morcell. There's the screen. There's the catch. Too strong. Carr the backside rebound.
Well, you knew that's where the ball was going, and even though you knew it, Hildreth couldn't get there.
12,571 knew where it was going, right? And thrown away by Wake in the half court. State will get it back in a one-point game.
Well, Wes, that was Salas. That was a very, very soft, lazy kind of pass.
Right.
And it's actually a break for Wake Forest that wasn't intercepted. You know, you don't want to turn it over, but if you're going to make a pass that is that poor a pass, it's better it goes out of bounds.
Steve Forbes, Kevin Keats. They're playing for keeps here today in Winston. Burns, see if he can set this. There he is. Got Reed in the air, scooped it up, wouldn't go. Carr pulled it away. Here's a lead for Salas. Caught it, kept it alive with Miller. 1-point game, we're under 5 to go.
That was a great recovery by Salas. That ball was going out of bounds.
Miller trying to beat Burns to the basket. Out front, Carr, another one. Nope, spun out. Reed slapped it away, and I believe that is going to go to the Wolfpack, and it will. The folks at the really good seats on the front row had a passing thought for Roger Ayers as he came by and he just smiled at the crowd.
Well, that's not really a surprise that they have a passing thought. Wake Forest now 2 for 9 from three-point range in the second half.
Taylor for Burns. Here's the clear out, and DJ Burns draws Efton Reed's third foul. Reed had 2 in the first 2.5 minutes, Dan. That's his first since then today.
It's very hard to keep DJ Burns from going wherever DJ Burns wants to go. And Reed, he got called for that foul because he dropped his arms.
DJ Burns to the line. Second free throw attempt of the day. And it's good. Don't forget, tonight following Georgia Tech and Louisville. Kelsey Riggs has got the whole crew in the studio. All the national champions are there for a full day and a full look at the day in the ACC. Highlights, analysis, interviews, and more coming up. Nothing but net tonight on ACC Network, streaming live on the ESPN app. Tied at 73. Burns bought 1 of 2.
Well, Wes, here we go. We got 4 minutes left in the game. We're right back where we started.
Yep. Boy, they delivered the first time and seemingly want to do it again today. Here's Miller. He lost it on the drive. Burns the foul. First on DJ Burns, 7 on the Wolfpack with 4:05 to go. And Dan, that puts the best free throw shooting team in conference play to the line with the 1-and-1. Wake is 82% in league play. Today they are 15 of 17 at 88%.
Wes, and one of the interesting things is Wake only has 4 fouls in this half.
Miller on the front end, missed it.
Wes, those are the kind of plays, I mean, he's not going to make them all. He's not a 100% free throw shooter. But to miss the front end of the 1-and-1 in a tie game with 4 minutes left is a big, big miss.
It's just his 6th miss in conference play, by the way. Came in 4th in the ACC in conference games free throw shooting. Hildreth spinning, tried to get all the way through. Terrific whirling dervish from Cam Hildreth.
That's a big turnover and a big conversion.
3.5 to go. Morcell. Stripped, recovered, Diarra. 5.5, 13 in the ball game for Mo Diarra. Tied at 75. What a game we got in Winston-Salem. Back in a moment. Well, back in Winston-Salem, let's take a look at our Big Bowl moments. Game's so good, we can't just have one. DJ Horn has been all that for the Wolfpack. Meanwhile, so's Hunter Salas for Wake Forest, Dan.
Well, they've both had huge moments, with Horn with 29, Salas with 27.
It's a career high for Salas. It's a career high for Horn. It's a season high for Horn. It's an unbelievable performance is what it is.
Well, Weston, we've had some outstanding performances. Mohamed Diarra, in particular, for North Carolina State. Other than Horn, he's got 13, he's got 11 rebounds.
You're looking DJ Horn's career high 34 when he was at Illinois State, February 3 years ago, when he was a Redbird against Northern Iowa. That's not out of the realm of possibility. He's got 29 with 3 minutes to go. We're tied at 75, and here are the two principals. Now Hildreth with Morcell defending. State's man-to-man. Backdoor lob! Oh, my goodness. Horn turned his head. Salas made him pay. Great set play by Steve Forbes.
What a play and what a pass.
Taylor for Horn. Working on Hildreth to tie. Does.
I mean, Wes, you can't play anybody any harder than Hildreth is trying to play Horn, and it does no good.
77 all. Here's Salas up and under, and he got the ball. Oh, my goodness. How good was that? How good was that for his 12th field goal and 16 tries?
If you're Wake, you got to do everything you can to get the ball out of the hands of Horn and keep him from getting it back.
Deacons by 2. 2 to go in Winston-Salem. Morcell, fall away, tied again.
That's a nice job by Morcell. He's got a height advantage and used it very effectively to back in. You can't help out off Horn.
9 for Morcell. There's a foul on Taylor. It's his third. It's the 8th. 1-1, but first a timeout in Winston-Salem.
Well, and Hunter Salas is the guy who continues to be a dominant offensive figure. And then, I mean, the dunk and then this play underneath the basket. What a game.
Dan, for all those people that are telling you this league's not very good, I'd like to offer you this game.
And there's a lot of them. This is a heck of a game. These are two really, really good teams. Those guys, they'd be stars in any league.
Well, and they're stars here today. Hoopy Miller's going to go to the line, but Hunter Salas and DJ Horn have been unbelievable for their respective schools today. Salas has 31. Horn's got 31. And here is Miller to try and break a tie, and he can't.
Wes, that's 2 consecutive times that a 93% free throw shooter missed the front end of a 1-and-1.
Horn for Morcell.
Now you got to dig in on this end.
Here is Burns with Reed defending. Can State create the clearance? Skip for Horn. 3 for the lead. Front rim miss. Efton Reed had it. Controls.
Boy, that is a break for Wake Forest. You cannot leave Horn by himself.
75 seconds left in regulation. Tied at 79. Salas on the drive. Crossover. And it fell off. Holy smokes.
How did that not go in?
I have no idea. Boy, it had some drama to it, though, didn't it?
Boy, it sure did.
And now Kevin Keats a timeout with 57.2 to go, and we're tied at 79. Wow.
Wes, if you're Wake Forest, you've had a couple of blows here. You have your best free throw shooter miss the front end of a 1-and-1 twice, and then you have that ball roll off. So you're facing a little bit of adversity right here. You got to dig in on the defensive end. And remember, NC State in these situations, they like to go to Burns and have Burns create something either for himself or kicking it out for a basket.
A couple of pieces of protocol here. You see Wake's got 2 fouls to give. They do. The possession arrow belongs to NC State. You see the timeouts remaining here. NC State's going to go to Burns, or they're going to Horn here, right, Dan?
Well, I think the first place they're going is Burns, because he's the one who's going to draw the defensive attention, and that's going to create opportunities for the other guys. But how many times have we seen NC State in late-game situations? Burns is the guy they go to.
Yep. Game winner at Notre Dame, maybe the best example. He's also been the closer several other times. And there's a look today, 45 combined points for the 2 players.
Well, I'm not sure Burns is going to be the guy who ends up shooting the ball, but I think Burns is going to touch the ball here.
You got O'Connell on the floor, by the way, playing with 4 fouls, too. And he'll take the inbounds pass against Miller. Diarra. Back to O'Connell. There's the bounce for Burns. Keep an eye on Carr. Nope. Carr stays away. Here's Burns with the left hand. Fell off the iron. Salvaged the rebound.
What a rebound, Wes. He went up over everybody.
And Steve Forbes wants a timeout. Boopie Miller will call it. Roger Ayers awards it with 27 seconds left. Got an 8-second differential. Shot clock to game clock. Timeout called by Kevin Miller here at the Wake bench.
Well, Wes, not only did Steve Forbes want a timeout, he wanted the timeout over there so the ball would be taken out on that side of the court. And so it actually took some time for Boopie Miller to get over there to call the timeout. He didn't want the ball out on this side of the court.
So now Wake has the ball. Now a myriad of things open up for the Deacons. It's been a very, very quiet day for Boopie Miller, and he's been frustrated by front-end misses in his last 2 trips to the line. He's got 8.5, 10 in the ball game. Cam Hildreth has 7.5, 8 in the ball game, Dan. It's really been about Hunter Salas for the most part here in the second half for Wake Forest. Salas has got 13 of his 31 in the second half.
Wes, I think what in this particular situation, you don't have some guy, you're not going to post up Reed and throw him the ball, because Wake Forest doesn't play through Reed. Wake Forest plays through Boopie Miller. And so you expect Miller to get the ball and make a penetrating move, and he can either go to the basket, he can get fouled. Now on the next foul, he'll be there shooting 2 because it'll be the 10th team foul. But you've got a number of different options here.
If you're NC State, you force the action, you got an 8-second differential, Dan.
If you're North Carolina State, your primary goal here is to keep the ball out of the middle of the floor. Don't allow that penetration into the lane that forces the defense to collapse and creates an open 3 for Salas, creates an open 3 for Carr.
And Carr, by the way, has hit 2 threes here in the second half. Wake's only hit 3 threes in the second half. 2 of them belong to Carr, the other to Salas. So Hildreth.
Well, Miller is down on the inside. Expect him to come off a screen and go get the ball.
And it's Reed with the catch against Middlebrooks, who plays with 4. They try to throw it to Carr. Great catch against Diarra. Carr to work for the lead. Got it. Timeout. NC State with 18.1 to go.
That is a great cut by Carr. And a great pass by Reed. You know, I didn't expect the play to go into Reed, but he makes the pass. And Carr just does a great job getting position on the inside. They don't help out. And this is what you call an old-fashioned power move right here. Keeps his pivot foot and just goes right up over the top. And he took his body into Diarra, so Diarra wasn't really in a position to jump to block the shot.
Well, we showed you the updated ACC standings at the top of the show. Wake Forest with a win today. And if Virginia beats Florida State, the Deacs would be 4th in the ACC.
Now, Wes, this is a situation for North Carolina State. You're down by 2. And so you're not going to play for the last shot. Now, maybe you do on the road. Maybe Kevin Keats will on the road. But you have the option of 2 or 3. You don't have to take the 3. But Wake Forest will be forced to defend everything here. And the point you made before, Wes, is very important. Wake Forest still has 2 fouls to give.
Right. Terrific crowd at Joel Coliseum. Better than 12,500 at full throat as the Wolfpack puts it in play. O'Connell stays on the floor.
Well, make him take some time to get the ball up the court and then foul him.
There's the foul on Miller. So that's the 5th on the Deeks.
And it's only the first on Miller, so he's the guy you want committing the fouls. You don't want Salas or Hildreth to commit a foul here, because if you need them in overtime, you won't have them.
12 seconds to go. Double team, here's Diarra. Now Horn, he'll take it. Into traffic, foul line jumper, front rim, missed everything. Rebounded by Salas, and a foul is called with 1.7 left.
Wes, I was a little surprised that the Deacons didn't try to give that extra foul, because they still had 1 to give, but they played great defense right there. That was as tough a shot as Horn has attempted all day.
First one is good. Salas with 32.
What a performance.
He's moving his name up on some of those ACC ballots too, Dan. 33 now for Salas.
And now if you're the Deeks, all you got to do is get out of the way.
Yep. Well, Wake Forest came in this game tied for 4th with Florida State, and of course hosts Virginia later tonight. A win today would make them 8-4 in the league. Winners of 3 straight, 13-0 at home, 6-0 at home against the ACC. And Dan, you see the traffic here. The closer they get to Duke, Virginia, and Carolina, the better for Steve Forbes.
Without any question, Wes.
1.7 left in a 4-point game.
And all you got to do is get out of the way, Wes. You want to make him take some time, but don't get anywhere near him.
O'Connell misses, and the Deeks win. 83-79. And Hunter Salas was the star today in Winston-Salem, Dan.
Wes, what a performance. Salas kept him in the game in the first half and then helped put him over the top in the second.
Terrific effort by Wake Forest. Steve Forbes' team does it again. And this time they do it at home.
Well, Wes, it was a very gritty performance, because this is a Wake Forest team that normally shoots the ball very well, and they did not, particularly in the first half today. But they made some big shots, and we talked about them overcoming adversity. Kevin Miller missed the front end of 2 1-and-1s. That's something that's never going to happen. And then they missed a couple of tight shots down at the end of the game. They could have hung their heads, but they didn't. And you see Andrew Carr leaving the court. Wes, he had another really big game for the Deeks.
Well, we're going to be joined here by Hunter Salas, who was unbelievable today for the Deacons in this 83-79 win. Hunter, first of all, congratulations. Take us through this atmosphere. You guys have played so well at home, and you responded beautifully to the day the challenge NC State set out.
I mean, credit to NC State. They're a really good team, and we knew coming in here it would be a dogfight. So, I mean, credit to our guys for just sticking to the plan, you know, pulling out this big win.
Well, now, we were just talking. There was some things down the stretch that happened against you. You know, Boopy Miller missing the front end of 2 1-and-1s, and then that one shot that you had, we were over here talking. We don't know how that didn't go in the basket, but you guys continued to respond. Why was that?
I mean, that's just one thing about this group. I mean, we know how to get through adversity. That's one thing our coaches preached all year, is just making sure we stay together in games like this and just getting through it. And that's what we did tonight. I'm proud of my guys. For sure.
Well, you ought to be proud of your guys. This is a terrific environment you guys have created with your success this year. It seemed like at halftime, you're down 6. Early in the second half, you wanted to feed off this environment and bring the crowd back into it.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing with playing at the Joel. I mean, we get a great crowd every home game, and it's just a great atmosphere. One of the hardest places to play in, I think. So credit to our fans and credit to our team tonight.
Hunter, I look at this team now. You guys have got a chance to be 4th at night's end.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all out in front of you, isn't it? Including Monday night.
Yep. I mean, quick turnaround. Got another great team on Monday, so another great opportunity, and that's how we see it. So another chance to prove ourselves. So I'm looking forward to it.
As well, you should. Now, you had Miller did not score well in the first half. Hildreth didn't, and neither did Carr, but they all three came along in the second half.
Yep, and I mean, they rallied, and that's what they do. You see it night in and night out. Those guys rallied, and I'm extremely proud of them. They're tough as nails, so, that stuff that our coach preached and our coach harps on, so credit to them.
Well, a career-high 33. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
83-79 the final. Terrific win for Wake Forest. Great to be with Dan Bonner. Thanks to our producer, Everett Hutto. Stay tuned. Kelsey Riggs and the Nothing But Net crew is next.
Welcome into our ACC Network studios alongside 3 national champs. We got Carlos Boozer, Joel Berry II, and Luke Hancock. Kelsey Riggs hanging out with you until 6:30. Lots to talk about, but let's start with what we just saw right here on ACC Network, because an incredible back-and-forth game between NC State and Wake Forest. Wake Forest ultimately gets the win, you guys, 83-79. And we heard from Hunter Salas, Joel, who absolutely went off, set a new career high in that game with 33 points. What'd you like about what he was able to do against NC State tonight?
Well, he stepped up and made big plays when they needed him the most. Having 33 points tonight, but it was really him making plays down the stretch. They had an after timeout where they threw a lob to him for a dunk, and then he came back the next possession, went against a mismatch and got a really good layup at the rim. So when you talk about big-time players stepping up in big-time moments, Hunter Salas did that for Wake Forest. And it just goes to show, night in, night out in the ACC, it's the plays down the stretch that really make the difference.
I was praying for overtime. It was awesome. I mean, DJ Horn was great at 31, but I love the efficiency of Hunter Salas' game. I mean, he was 12 for 17, 33 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. But usually you see 33 points and a guy's having to just volume shoot, get a lot of them up. He let the game come to him, plays off his teammates well. There are a lot of pieces to the puzzle with this Wake team I really like.
Yeah, just dynamic. He scored in so many different ways, whether he's knocking down the three, getting to the free throw line, getting to the basket, like you said, the alley-oop and the dipsy-do shot at the end. Just made big plays for his team when they needed it the most.
Feels like this team also, obviously, Luke knows what's on the line, because right now, according to Joe Lunardi on the outside looking in, and a big opportunity that you don't want to let slip by to continue that win streak at home.
Yeah, if we're talking Joe Lunardi stuff here, all right, let's look at the first half where Efton Reed is in some foul trouble, and then let's look at the second half where Wake Forest was able to take control of the game. That's a little bit like their season this year. This Wake team is getting better and better. They're getting more continuity week in and week out. Watch the game. There's just no doubt in my mind that's a tournament team.
And then you look at the end of the game. I mean, we talk about Hunter Salas, but look at Andrew Carr.
Yeah.
Step up and make a big-time play. Give him the ball down low, and he gets the layup to get his team ahead. So they have so many pieces to the puzzle, and this team is a really good team, and they do look really different with Efton Reed, but they just have so many ways that they can score. If you look at the stat sheet night in, night out, they can have a different player that can be at the top of the stat sheet. So all around, this is a good team. 4
different guys tonight finished scoring in double figures. They also remain undefeated at home. Just one of 2 teams in the ACC right now that can say that, sitting at 13-0 when they get to play there at the Joel.